Hello, welcome. This is going to be an introduction into CSS for beginners. CSS, otherwise known as cascading style sheets. So what is CSS? CSS is a style sheet language. It is used to describe the presentation of a markup document, such as HTML or XML. It describes how elements should be rendered on the web page. So things such as font size, font color, font boldness, animation, spacing, columns and the layout, image size, background, color, and a lot of other things. CSS is read from top to bottom of the document. Moving on to the basic structure. So the anatomy, I've got an example here. So we've got a selector, which selects an HTML element, and then we've got what's called a declaration. So that is a key value pairing. So the key here is the property, in this case it's color, and then the value or the property value is red. So the color is set to red. That key value pairing is the declaration. Now I've also got another example here. So you can see here the element or the selector is H2, and then within the curly brackets we've got a set of rules assigned to the selected element, and then we've got several declarations here, key value pairings. So we've got the first line is a color key, and then we've set a value to it. Now the semicolon at the end of the value is used as a separator for the declarations, right? So there's a semicolon after the value, and then a next declaration is made. So in this instance, font size is the key, and then the value is 150%. Then we've got another semicolon as a separator, and then we've got a third declaration at the bottom. All right, so I've created an intro.css file. And now in this file, we can start declaring our CSS rule set. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, let's put P as our selector. So this selects the P HTML element. We do an open and a close curly bracket. Now within these curly brackets, we define our declarations. So an example would be color, colon, and we'll set that to red and finish off with a semicolon. So this is the key value pairing, otherwise known as the declaration. So we've set the color to the value of red. Now color changes the color of the text. So now the text in the P HTML elements will be set to red. Now we can also change the font size. So you can see there's a bunch of different sizes here, or you can also define in pixels, 20 pixels, and then we end that with a semicolon and save. So that is our first CSS rule set that we've just created. Okay. So again, just to reiterate, anatomy, we've got a selector that selects an HTML element. Then we've got a list of selected rules that we define. Then we've got property and property values, which come in key value pairings known as the declaration. We can have multiple declarations for within the curly braces, and these define the styling for whatever HTML element that we've selected. You can also have units here. So in this example, we've got PX, which stands for pixels. So that's it for this video. In the next video, I'll go further into detail of the different types of selectors that can be used and further information on the syntax of CSS.